On today's episode, we are going to discuss how to break the chains of being viewed as just another commodity to one that delivers extraordinary experiences and commands premium prices. I'm Devin Herz. Welcome to today's DMC Marketing Nugget.
Now welcome your host with the Daily Nugget Dose, Devin Herz.
Okay, here we go. Another episode ready to rock. My guest today helps business owners get, serve, and keep clients for life through creating experiences and response required marketing without working harder. All the applause in the background threw me off there, but he is a former birth control factory security guard turned Disney leader, turned bankrupt, out of work executive, turned carpet cleaner, turned successful entrepreneur, founder of Deliver Service Now Institute. Welcome, Vance Morris. Great to have you here, sir.
I appreciate it, and the crowd goes wild.
Exactly. Everyone's excited to hear this one, I'm sure. So I'd love to learn more about you. As we were talking before we started a recording, we have some similar paths in the direct response marketing world with the names of Dan Kennedy, Joe Polish, Dean Graziosi, all those guys. So love to dig into this and want to know about your journey from Disney leader to successful entrepreneur. And really, that's been remarkable. And I would love to know how your experiences at Disney shaped your approach to enhancing customer experiences in various industries.
Yeah, definitely. So I spent a decade working for the Mouse down in Orlando. My last job there was the food and beverage director at the Contemporary Resort, so the one that has the monorail that goes through it.
Yeah.
I was on the design and operations team for a little restaurant called Chef Mickey's, which is a character dining destination. Still there and still rated as the #1 character dining destination on property. So if you have been there and you were tired of the napkins twirling in the air, well, you have me to thank for it. I did leave Disney. People do leave. I get that question all the time. I spent 2 jobs after Disney, both kind of corporate-y, food service, hospitality jobs. And I really, towards the end of my Disney career, and definitely in those 2 corporate jobs, I began to realize I make a lousy employee. I just don't like to be told what to do. Just ask my first and second ex-Mrs. Morris, and you'll get the same answer from them. And so I used to say I got laid off, but I got fired, and I own up to that now. And I was tired of getting fired and laid off, and I wanted to do my own thing. So, I was looking at a lot of restaurant concepts to start. But most of them wanted $1 to $5 million in liquid cash. And well, I just didn't have that sitting around. So I said, well, what's in my price range? What can I do? So I looked at dry cleaning, and I looked at fruit smoothies and, all sorts of stuff. And this carpet cleaning franchise just kept bubbling up because of the product that they had was amazing. I mean, I could look anybody in the eye and say, this stuff works as advertised. But it was, if you think about carpet cleaners, now, Joe Polish, so you know that, a lot of times carpet cleaners have not been looked upon with the highest regard as far as home service people. So I decided I was looking for something where I could really create a premium service. In my area in Maryland, we have a lot of pockets of wealth because we're right on the Chesapeake Bay and on the coast. So, we got a lot of homes. And I knew that this was something that the marketplace was missing. So I did. I started cleaning carpet. I've never vacuumed before in my life, but I figured, what the hell, let's try it. And I was able to grow it. And eventually we added a Oriental rug washing facility to it. And about 6 years ago, we added a mold remediation company to it. And the key thing I learned at Disney, this is actually before they teach you how to pick up trash and smile and all that stuff, was that Disney is run on systems and processes. They got a system for everything. You want to change a bus tire, there's a system. You want to carry a tray in a restaurant, there's a system. And so I took that and put that into my business. So I now have marketing systems. I've got experience systems, operations systems. And what systems do is free you up. And so I mentioned I started a mold company a number of years ago. I actually hired a general manager. I promoted one of my guys, and I said, "Look, I'll start a business with you. I'll fund it. You just have to make it work," because he's looking to maybe buy me out someday. And we added that, and by putting the systems into place, I was able to step out. I do 90 minutes a week right now in that business, cashing the checks and kissing the babies, so to speak, which frees me up to do the stuff that I really enjoy doing, which is designing customer experiences for small companies, working with them. We talk direct response marketing. I like to also call it experiential marketing. Your marketing should be an experience. We talked about the 50 caliber bullet that you guys used a number of years ago in a mailing. It's just stuff like that to get you to stand out.
And you still have it on your shelf, so stuff
and
has has staying power. So that was a campaign that we did for GKIC as an invite with a wanted poster and a 50 caliber bullet. So when we talk about mailing, it's things that have staying power and that are memorable and creating that experience. So I love hearing that. And now you also are an author of several books, but I want to talk about Systematic Magic, one of your books. You discuss the 7 magic keys to Disneyfy any business. Can you go ahead and elaborate on that a little bit and give us some of those keys that have immediate impact on businesses looking to improve their customer service today?
Sure. Yeah. So first we got to define Disneyfy. And whatever you do, please do not go to Google or to the Urban Dictionary, because there is a version of it that is not PG, and we don't want to talk about that one. But for me, Disneyfy means to create experiences out of the mundane. So we all have boring, mundane things we got to do day in and day out to keep our businesses running. Answer the telephone, send an email, send a proposal, wait on customers, whatever it is. Disney has figured out a way to create experiences out of all of those little things. And that's what makes them so good. They are still the gold standard when it comes to creating experiences for guests and customers. So with that as the background, I looked at all of the different components that really would kind of be standalone, and you could really take action on any one of them. So there are 7. The first one is the wow. Everybody loves talking about it. It's the sexy one. But I don't like talking about it unless your business has their house in order. Because if you start wowing and your service stinks or your product is horrible, all you're doing is with a big giant bullhorn telling everybody that your product stinks. So have your house in order first. Then you can add the wows. And when I talk about wows, they don't have to be, you don't have to build a magic kingdom to create a wow in your business. It could be the way you answer the telephone. I've got worked with a group of insurance agents, and one of the guys was a huge rock and roll fanatic, and gold records on the wall and Who posters and all that. And, if you call an insurance agent these days, it'll be something like, thank you for calling Dave's Insurance. How can I help you? And we've all heard the phone answered that way. But this guy, actually, it was an employee that came up with it. They answered the phone like this: thank you for calling Dave's Allstate, the agency that rocks. Now,
nice.
It sounds goofy the first 70 times you say it. But, you and I both know our marketing is designed to do 2 things: attract the people we want to do business with and repel the people we don't. And just by answering the phone that way, you sift, sort, and screen out all of the looky-loos and people that would make a lousy customer for you. Sure. Other little things, finding the annoyances of your industry or of your niche. What is, take the dentist's office. What's the biggest annoyance when you go to any doctor's office? It's the wait.
The
right?
waiting, yep,
So
for
wouldn't
sure.
it be great instead of Marge at the front desk greeting you with, okay, sign in here. Okay, it's going to be doctor's running 20 minutes late. Go sit down, read an old magazine or something. Wouldn't it be great if Marge actually like stood up from her desk, because usually those desks are built like a fortress and you can only like see the top of Marge's head. And she stood up and she came around the front desk and said, you know what? We're really sorry. The doc's running about 15 minutes behind. We value your time. Here's a coupon to go get a free coffee at the local coffee shop down the street. We're really sorry. That's
Nice.
it.
Yeah,
But
that's
no, of
it.
course, yeah, I mean,
Simple strategy right there. Boom.
it is. And so it's finding all those things that you do day in and day out. Every touch point you've got with a customer is an opportunity to create, a wow moment. Or as the one author called it, moments of truth. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is the spot where the rubber hits the road?
Yeah. And that's
another one of the magic keys is details, all about the details. And this really drives it home for people and they kind of get it. I mean, we're all in detail businesses, but if you think of it this way, that every detail in your business is either enhancing or detracting from the experience. There is no middle ground, right? So, I mean, if you got dusty houseplants in your waiting room, well, that's detracting, right?
Yeah.
If you're late, that's detracting. And then also you get the whole, dusty plants in the dentist office. Great. What does the toothbrush look like that he's going to shove in my mouth? So paying attention to those details. I mean, Walt Disney was the one who started that. I mean, he would go in undercover as much as he could. He put a little straw hat on and overalls and walk around Disneyland and experience it as a guest. And he would look for those kinds of details, or the rides. I mean, I remember there's a story about Dick Nunis, who ended up being the chairman of Walt Disney World, was in charge of Jungle Cruise in Disneyland. And Walt went on the ride, got off the ride, hopping mad, because the ride took 4 minutes and 30 seconds. It's supposed to take 7 minutes. So the operator rushed the ride. Now, the guy thought he was doing the right thing because he saw this mile-long line. And he said, okay, well, great. Let's just speed things up. We can get more people through. And Walt's like, no. This is not how we do it. We want people to experience it. Do you know how much those hippos cost? How would you feel if somebody pulled the middle reel of the film out and just gave you the beginning and the end? So details matter.
Details do matter. Absolutely. Yeah. My one of my mentors, the late Tom Feltenstein, great guy. And he was all about being remarkable. What does it take to be remarkable? And working within the four walls to ensure that the minute someone walks into your retail location, whether it be a restaurant or any kind of business, that they have that welcoming feeling and there's that remarkable steps. And it doesn't take much. Doing little things, like you said, how you're answering the phone, offering something if there's a delay. Those little touches can go so long as far as people giving great reviews. And now we're in a world of people looking at reviews. So those little things pay off. And I really think that's an amazing nugget there to just think about what you can do in your business and even in your life to be remarkable and do these remarkable things to wow your audience. And let's flip the script a little bit here. We're talking about experiences, and then on a business side, I think a lot of people struggle with price resistance. They feel we got to be the cheapest, we got to be undercutting our competition. So, what do you feel the most critical piece of advice you would give to a business trying to achieve a nice level of pricing strategy this day and age with everyone undercutting and the Amazons out there taking over your products and things like that? What's your take on that?
I think it's horse poop, for lack of a better term. When you have strategic prices, when you have higher prices, you can do nicer things for your customers or your guests. And as your prices increase, so should the experiences that you're able to provide, because that is the separator of commoditized businesses is the experience. So we're all in commodity businesses. I mean, a dentist is a dentist is a dentist. There's only so many ways to clean teeth.
Right.
So what separates one dentist from another? Well, it's the in-office experience. So I'll give you a great example. So a couple of years ago, I have a client who owns a number of service stations. So kind of like a Jiffy Lube, Quick Lube kind of place. And he was heavily competing on price with those guys because they were on the same street. So every time Jiffy Lube ran a promotion, he felt he had to run one, and it was just race to the bottom. And he was like, look, I just can't keep going on like this. I said, well, let's, as Kennedy always says, look at what everybody's doing and do the opposite.
Do the opposite,
so,
yeah.
Well, let's raise prices. And so we did. And what he was able to do with those increased prices was create an experience. So we designed the place so it'd be like one of those 1950s style service stations where four guys run out. They got little bow ties on and gloves, and one guy squeegees the window. The other one's checking the air pressure. Then they escort you into the waiting room, and there's not a 3-day-old pot of stale coffee. There's actually a barista in there making your favorite, your favorite coffee drink. Now, yes, there are expenses to that, but his price, even today, is 55% higher than his closest local competitor.
Wow,
he's got a line out the door, so he never has to worry about it. And here's the thing with the higher prices, is that mathematically you could actually double your price, lose half your clients, and still be profitable, or even more profitable. So what happens is that price drives away the looky-loos and the coupon clippers, attracts people who want an experience, and it reduces the amount of people that you have to serve. So he has actually less wear and tear on his building. He doesn't need to serve, 50 cars a day. He only needs to serve 25 cars a day. His employees are happier because they're not working, themselves to the bone. So now he's got engaged employees who stick around, and he's able to do nice things for people, and people appreciate it. So a lot of that pricing is in our own heads. It's our own mind trash. And I think that we as business owners are sometimes resistant to raising prices because we're worried we're going to tick somebody off. Well, look, Disney raised prices 3 times last year.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
it's quite expensive to go there now. Yes,
it is, but it doesn't deter people.
Not at all.
It's still crowded, and they still are able to deliver the experience. So I would really look hard at what can you do. And everything I told you he did. His big expense was the cappuccino machine, and the barista was actually one of the guys who was not working on the cars.
Okay.
His entire team was trained on how to make coffee drinks.
Yeah, you're not saying completely change your business model and do all these different things. It's just making those little changes internally to provide more value, more of an experience that people will pay more for, that they'll start to talk about, create that buzz because no one else is creating coffee while I'm getting an oil change. So I think it's a great way to look at that and not be so concerned about that. You can look and watch what the competition's doing. You can learn from what they're doing, but don't feel that you need to lower your prices and devalue yourself. And I myself have been there and felt where, what do we got to charge? This person's now selling videos for 5,000 when they used to be 10,000. Do we need to lower our costs? So understanding that and being able to provide value on top of what you do and create that experience, you can get those prices and not have to worry about it. And you're going to end up working with people that respect you more that way too. So it's a nice.
And you're going to have more fun. The people around you are enjoyable, because they're not beating you up all the time over price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And with businesses, we do come across failures. I think entrepreneurs have many failures in their lives, and that's the victories that outshine, thankfully. But with the challenges of service recovery, how do you find that businesses not only address service failures, but also turn those moments into opportunities for enhancing customer loyalty. And customer loyalty, which I know is a new program that you're kind of working on right now that you'll talk about here in the bonus nugget. But I want to know what your thoughts are on how to really face those challenges with service recovery.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first and foremost is attacking it quickly. A problem left unresolved festers and gets worse as time goes on. It's like cutting your finger. If you cut your finger, you put a little ointment and a Band-Aid on it, you're fine. But if you cut your finger, you rub it in the dirt, and then, the dog licks it, it's going to get infected. And, it just gets worse as time goes on. Same thing with a problem. So if you can solve the problem at the point where the person is complaining, like the line level employee who's getting the brunt of it, if that person can solve it, it never has to go to a manager. Because once somebody says, oh, let me get my manager, now time elapses. Now you've wasted more of my time. Is the manager going to be able to solve it? And why couldn't you solve it? Why does the manager have to do it? Historically and famously, Ritz-Carlton gives $2,000 to every employee to satisfy a dissatisfied customer. No questions asked, $2,000. So whether that's, if they got to go buy their favorite book, if they need to replace a shirt, if it's comping the whole stay, whatever it is, they have that leeway, and they know that they're not going to get yelled at or reprimanded. They're good. Now they are going to get asked, hey, well, why did you do this? But that's fine. It's not an accusatory thing. Now, I'm not advocating giving people a $2,000 leeway like Ritz-Carlton.
I'm thinking they're going to screw things up on purpose just to get that $2K.
Right.
But
but I am looking at, what latitude can you give a front office person, or like, for example, in my carpet cleaning business, if one of my guys is running late, he knows to call the office and have them call the customer and say, sorry, we're running a few minutes late. He takes the time to stop at the local grocery store. Yes, it does make him later, but only by a few minutes. And he buys flowers to bring to the house as an apology for running late. Now, I don't question it. I try to find out why he was late, but he's empowered to do service recovery on his own without having to call me or the general manager, because that would just take time. And now, if your plumber showed up, 30 minutes late and he had a bouquet of flowers in his hand for you, you'd be like forgiving him left and right, especially if you're the lady of the house.
100%. Yeah. Back to the little things, right? Something $5-10. Now you just turned a negative impression to a very positive impression, and they're going to be telling their neighbors, and then they're going to be telling their neighbors, and they're going to get more business that way. So those things are
that's just the thing. I try to get all of my coaching members, and actually anybody I talk to, I said, look, this is what you want, because we want people talking about us, right? We want to be a tellable company. And what you want them to be saying is, you'll never guess what happened at, and then insert your business there. So, if you get your oil change, when was the last time you went home, sat down with the whole family and said, hey, you'll never guess what happened at the oil change today? The conversation just does not happen. Unless you went to one of mine and you got your favorite coffee drink made in, the waiting room while you're waiting for the oil change. Now the conversation, oh my God, you'll never guess what happened at the oil change. So that's really the litmus test right there.
I like that test. I think that even coordinates well with marketing too. You'll never guess what I got in the mail. You'll never guess what video I just saw online. So I think if you have that as a goal, or as we say, the WTF, what is this? It's kind of that shock value. You're really getting them engaged. In this day and age, it's so hard to get people to pay attention to anything. So the experiential marketing side of things is so important in your business. And nowadays, with so many companies being virtual too, it doesn't take much to send over that little thank you card. Now you can automate these things. You talk about processes and systems. We're not talking about, hey, now you got more work to do. there's things that you can automate through CRMs, through automation systems, to where a nice handwritten thank you card can go out, a nice little gift can go out, remembering them during the holidays, capturing people's birthdays to hit them up with a discount or an offer to come in for their birthday party, whatever it may be. All of those things add up to success in your business. So look beyond what you're just selling, look beyond the services you're providing, and do those little experiential marketing things that Vance is talking about here. And we'll hit on one more nugget. You got the floor here. I know you're working right now when you talk about customer loyalty and retention. Looking at those things, I know you got some new program going on. So let's use the bonus nugget to talk about that. Fill us in on what you got going on with the retention marketing.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, as you know, one of the most expensive things you can do in business is get a new customer. I mean, it ain't cheap, but it is ridiculously inexpensive to keep them once you've got them. So like in my carpet business, cost last month's pay-per-click report, I think it was like $105 to get a new customer in the front door. Cost me $18 a year to keep them. So, you know, the minute I do a second cleaning for them, I'm already $105 ahead. But remember, it is not, you know, your customer's job to remember you. It's our job as business owners to remind the customers that we exist. And that's, you could do a great job and still, I mean, I had a guy repair my air conditioner. I mean, he was out here in 30 minutes. He fixed it quick. He was, you know, reasonable price and everything. Next time the air conditioning went up, I'm like, who the hell was that? You know, he didn't put a magnet out there on the air conditioner, nothing. I'm like, oh, well, and he had done a great job. So I've come up with a done for you package. Is that we were talking before the recording that, you know, I think there's enough information that people have, not enough implementation. So I have created a what I call the loyalty profit package. It is your customer retention system in a box. So every month, my clients will get a done for you newsletter, 4 pages, full color, already done. I would prefer you do a little bit of personalization, but you don't have to. You can just stick a stamp on it and send it out. You'll get 4 emails, so you can at least email 1 out a week. There'll be a postcard in there, you know, probably themed around whatever month it is. There's marketing calendars, and then I'm giving them, I partnered with another company. When you say automating sending stuff out, great company that sends out little gifts. So, you know, send out a bag of nuts and it'll say, hey, you know, we're nuts over you with this, you know, cute stuff like that. The big hit actually was Butterfly Garden. I sent Butterfly Gardens, there's a little tin of wildflower seeds. And I sent it out on Mother's Day last year to my carpet cleaning clients.
Okay.
I've never got so many people calling me saying, oh my God, my grandson and I, we went out and we planted this and now, you know, so creating that emotional connection, because that's what it's all designed to do. But it's done for you. It is, you don't have to do a thing except upload your list to a printer and boom, done, out the door it goes.
You're speaking our language here. I mean, we are all about the tangible marketing, and I think there's a huge resurgence of that right now because digital is so saturated. You know, we're continuing to have problems with Google and Meta ads and getting bogus leads, and with direct mail, you know who you're targeting. And I think a lot of these service businesses, especially, think that they're going to do these mail campaigns, one postcard, you know, one email blast here or there, and that's it to get clients. But not everyone needs a new roof all the time. Not everyone needs plumbing all the time, HVAC all the time. So those emails that you don't think are working, the social media posts that are only getting 1 like, people are still seeing you and you're staying top of mind. So that is the goal for many of those businesses out there, just to be seen repetitively, be consistent with your marketing message. I know you've got, I think, a book that you're offering, or free book. Fill us in on what the offer is. Oh, yeah,
sure. So, if you go to to my website, deliverservicenow.com, there's a little button that says free stuff or free book. If you click on that, you'll get a PDF download of Systematic Magic, and it will have all 7 magic keys, not just the first 2 I talked about today. And then if you actually really want a book book, one that you can hold in your hands. You still get it free. I just ask you pay a little shipping and handling, and I'll be more than happy to send the book out.
That's awesome. So that's the end of our episode here. Is there any last minute nuggets you want to let everyone know out there, Vance?
I'm not much on sayings, but I do have one, and it's you won't profit unless you implement. So pick a nugget that you got today or 10 episodes ago and go do something with it. Implement it. Try it out. Because otherwise it's just been 36 minutes of, Devin and I talking. So.
Yeah, we see that a lot. I mean, we develop amazing campaigns and different designs, and some of those just happen to sit on the shelf, and the clients come back, well, why is this not? Well, you got to implement what we're putting forth. So it's so true to actually take action. I mean, there's a lot of consultants out there that give you all the strategies and this and that, and then you got to implement. That's tough. Our agency, people like Vance, they're helping you with your marketing. They're helping you with peace of mind. They're putting systems together that really help streamline your business, make you more efficient, make your experience for your clients and their journey more special. So Vance, great to talk to you today. Really appreciate all your wisdom on the Nugget. It's been wonderful.
I appreciate you having me, Devin. Thanks so much.
You got it. All right. Well, that's another wrap of a great DMC Marketing Nugget. So go ahead, hit that like and follow button. Tell all your friends about us, anyone in the marketing world or business world. Listen to our podcast on your favorite streaming apps and visit dmcmarketingnugget.com to watch all of our past shows. Here's to your success.